How we doing? You got the Boston Trucker with you. We are back. No video last week. What's up with that? My GoPro mount broke. And I just couldn't mount it on any kind of bracket. So the only filming I did last week was a little shots here and there that I might splice into this video. But we're back full throttle this week. Let's do it. Cue that music. Yeah. Let's go. Let's get it started. Let's go. Come on. Go. Go ahead. The Boston Trucker here. Welcome to my channel. I hope you enjoy it.
This one here tonight?
Yeah, absolutely. Pull it up to the wash bay. Hey, I got a letter. Awesome. Greetings, Mike. Last night watched your video. The antique community owes you some gratitude. Oh, that's nice. No, nobody owes me anything. Thank you. I appreciate that. That's really nice. Being 76 years old, I could have seen many of those trucks. I think he's talking about my Yankee Candle truck show video I posted last week. The first hand, this video may not get a lot of views, but 60 years from now, break out the video. Anyhow, this is Dave. Mail, don't know. 3 years ago, when you came to our show, I felt bad. I always hate music. You might not see the person again. Talked the club into no DJ last year. Some of our members weren't happy about it, but our members got so much positive feedback this year. The club voted unanimously no DJ. So what he's talking about is, and I hope it wasn't because of me, but it might have been. These DJs are out of control at these truck shows. My opinion, and this is just an opinion, man. Opinions don't mean facts. They're opinions. It's what I think. I don't think if you're gonna hire a DJ for a truck show or a car show, the DJ should be able to read the room or read the show. I went to the show a few years ago. The music was so loud you could not have a conversation. It was blasted everywhere in the place. And as a content creator, and I can't even film anywhere near music because of copyright strikes. But the thing is, you shouldn't adjust your truck show because maybe somebody's going to be filming a video, but the DJ should be told, keep the music down so people can talk. I mean, I'm an adult. I can go someplace and not have music and have a great time. 1975, got out of a DM Mac and hopped into a 1972 Ford cab over 318, 13, 34 Ryco, the C-Line. Awesome, wow, that's really cool. First load, North Smithfield, load of Tupperware to Pocatello, Idaho. Dude, that's phenomenal. I've been on that run many times with my dad in the 80s. That's really awesome. Nice light loads. Like you, I was living large. He gave me his phone number. I never miss your videos. You have preserved a lot more history than you know. Enough blowing smoke up your ass, Dave. Thanks, Dave. And Dave included a flyer. I'm gonna try and make it to the truck show. It's a couple weeks from now, 3 weeks from now. Shoot. June 1st. I think I'm coming back from Atlanta that day. I don't think I can make it. I'll be at Super Rigs in Atlanta, Georgia. Just checking my calendar. June 1st. Shoot. It's a Sunday. I might be able to, I'm getting home late Saturday night, but I might have to spend some family time. If my family's busy Sunday morning, I'm going to the truck show. I think they might be. Anyways, Look at the flyer right here. June 1st, write this down. Great truck show, nice location, great people, antiques, the whole works. Johnston Memorial Park, Johnston, Rhode Island, 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. No DJ. Entry fee is $10 for show vehicles, free to the public. Dash plaques to the first 100 entries. Antique trucks with trailers allowed. Beautiful. Vendors, t-shirts, play area for kids. No dogs allowed too. Listen, I love dogs, but at truck shows, sometimes they don't mix. Thank you, Dave, for writing me. I'm gonna give you a call. You sent me your phone number. I'll give you a call later today. We'll say hello. Got a new driver. First day. She's a lady. Seems like a nice lady. I'm not sure of her name. I think it's Sandra. Last Tuesday, here's a story for you. The last Tuesday, I'm rushing, getting through the day, get all my loads done, because it was the Scott McLeod wake, right? If you're friends with me on Facebook, you might have heard the story already. But if you're not, I'm rushing last Tuesday to get to the wake. I get all my loads done, I get out of work, I run home, I take a shower, I change my clothes. It's a 20-mile drive down to where the wake is. My phone's telling me it's gonna take me about an hour to get there, bumper to bumper traffic. It's 4 o'clock, I'm gonna get there about 5 o'clock. I'm 45 minutes into the drive. And I get a text from B Model Mark, the guy who loads us at the yard. He says, hey, when's that funeral? I said, it's tomorrow. He goes, you sure about that? I said, yeah. He goes, and the wake's tonight. He goes, you sure about that? I go, I think so. And then meanwhile, I pull up the obituary on my phone real quick. It's the following week. So I did that for nothing, which is today. So today's the wake, tomorrow's the funeral. But man, I couldn't believe it. I drove almost an hour to get there. Wrong day. I just assumed once they post the obituary, it was the next week. I was wrong. I was wrong. So I'm gonna try and get through the day today a little early, if we can. Here's the sucky thing today. There's a concert at Gillette Stadium. AC/DC's playing. Hey, I love AC/DC. But that's kind of near where the wake is. So what took me an hour last week could take me an hour and a half today. So I'm trying to push it, get it done, get down there. Pay some respect to Scott. I'm gonna hit the funeral tomorrow. I'm gonna do a load in the morning, go to the funeral, probably come back in the afternoon, do a load. We'll call it a week. Call it a day, not a week. Not a week. All right, we're getting loaded with sand and we're about to head east. Let's go. Last load of the day. Let me get some sand. Going through that sand like crazy. Bringing in like 8 loads of sand a day down the materials yard. We used to do like 1 every other day. Good morning, it's Wednesday, May 14th. I think today's the 14th. Or is it the 15th? I don't know, I get so confused what days are what now. But it's Wednesday, I know that. I got Scott McLeod's funeral this morning. The will be trucks there, which is what he wanted, which is great. I'm not gonna have my truck there. I wasn't asked. They wanted like 5 trucks, so I'm gonna head down there in my car. Gonna do one run on the truck. Be back here around 9. The funeral's at 11. I go home, change my clothes. It's like 20 miles there. Should take, in this traffic, it'll probably take me 30 to 40 minutes. Funeral, service, graveside, come back, change, and probably do one more run on the truck. Should be hopefully back here between 1 and 2 o'clock. That's the plan. Let's go. Stolen valor. You know what stolen valor is? Valor. Stolen valor. Somebody pretends they're in the military, or they're wearing fake medals, or telling stories about situations they were in the military when they never were in the military. It happens in trucking too. It's funny, you know. I had to stop at Target yesterday. You might call it Target where you're from. I'm at Target, right? I had to pick up a few things for the house. And I'm walking through the men's clothing section. I needed some socks, right? And there's a sign, trucker jackets, 10% off. I'm just like, what's a trucker jacket? I don't know. What is a trucker jacket? You know, I mean, they got trucker hats. I hate that they call them trucker hats. That's another term. Everybody's selling trucker hats. What the hell's a trucker hat to me? Is what it is. You know, it's got a truck on the hat, or a trucking company. Now every hat's a trucker hat. Now we got trucker jackets. Everybody hates truckers, but they want to dress like us now? I don't know. What's up with that? It's crazy. So, we're at a benefit the other night for ALS. I think I talked about it earlier in my video for our friend who's got ALS. And, you know, there's a lot of people there. Some people well-dressed, most people well-dressed, dress shirts at least, you know, dress pants, dress shoes. I was wearing jeans and dress shoes, and a dress shirt. And I'm terrible at small talk. You know, uncomfortable, anxiety. I'm not good in crowds. Truck shows are different. That's where I can pull it out. So I'm just hanging with my wife, and my wife's very good at small talk and schmoozing. And that might be one of the reasons I married her. Is she's a really good talker. And I was dating a girl before my wife. She was very quiet, and I was kind of quiet. There were a lot of just uncomfortable silences all the time. It was hard to talk. My wife, she could talk enough for everybody. So we're at this party, not the party, the benefit, right? And I'm not talking to anybody really. I'm trying to make small talk, you know, with bankers and investors, and it's not happening, you know. So you kind of scan, as a trucker, you kind of scan the room for somebody who might be a trucker or might be at least blue collar that you can have a conversation with and not be uncomfortable. And there was this guy there, and he was wearing a jeans and a plaid shirt and a trucker vest. He was dressed like I dress, and I was like, oh, that's something I could probably talk to at least. Maybe he's a trucker. You know, you kind of want to find out, like, oh, because if he's a trucker, we're going to be best friends at this party. So ends up, his wife ended up striking up a conversation with my wife. We were kind of standing near them, and I wanted to say something to the guy about his vest, like, hey, I got the same vest, which I did. I do have the same vest. And I was like, that's just weird. Why? What? Just shut up. I'm not gonna. What are you gonna say? So they end up talking, and then the husband's there. We're just kind of staring at each other. And then I go, boy, I'm glad I didn't wear my vest tonight, because I have the same one. We would have been twins. Something stupid like that. And we're chatting for a while. You know, we really seem to get along as couples. Oh, these are really nice people. You know, like we had a lot in common, and it was going really well. So I said, so what do you do for a living? Hoping he's gonna say trucker. I work for an investment company. I do sales for a giant investment company. They own the New York Stock Exchange. I didn't know anybody owned the New York Stock Exchange. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. I just didn't know what the vest. He goes, oh yeah, this is what we all wear now. We don't. Nobody wears blazers anymore. Blazer, like a suit jacket, sports coat. We wear vests, usually black vests. I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. Stolen valor. Thought he was a trucker. Nice guy. Oh, really, really nice guy. But as a man, you don't know how to make the next move to become friends. So probably never see that guy again, to talk to him again. But he was really cool. But he looked like a trucker. A trucker, whatever that means, you know. Truckers, which is such an odd bunch. I stopped at my mother's house last night after the wake. She lives down the street. Yeah, word. Nice dress shirt. It was untucked. Nice blue jeans. I had dress shoes on, not work boots. My mother's like, you didn't think you should dress up for the wake? And I was like, he was a trucker. I was dressed like everybody else that was there. we're just such a microcosm of society. Yeah, it was fun. Had as good a time as you could at a wake. Met some great people. You know, Scott told a lot of awesome stories to me, you know, for years, mentioning people's names all the time, people he really loved, you know, and you just hear their names but didn't know who they were, and I was introducing myself to a lot of people, you know, trucker group. I'm decent at small talk, you know, I'm not afraid to say hello to people, and I met a lot of the people from the story, so that was really it's really neat. You know, Scott was there in spirit. I wish he could have been there personally. It was definitely not hearing him in the background speaking or laughing, or, you know, he had a nickname for everybody. You know, I met a lot of people who had those nicknames yesterday, and yeah, it just sucks he ain't gonna be around anymore. But I will say, there's an imprint of a dump truck inside his casket that he's gonna be looking at for eternity. It's a Peterbilt. I mean, he's a Mack and auto car guy, but it's pretty cool. I don't know if they bought that at a truck stop or where you get one of those, but I want one of those. I'm a little jealous, Scott, to be honest, but we're loading up our one load this morning. We're gonna head over to, head back, dump it out. We'll head to the funeral this morning. All right, I've arrived at Scott McLeod's funeral service. And because we're a quirky bunch, normally videotaping at a funeral would be extra weird, but you know, we're different. We got a few trucks here. Gotta be proud to see these trucks here for sure. That looks nice, man.
Hey, what's up, man?
How are you?
Doing well, how are you?
Good.
You gonna be in the YouTube?
You're gonna be in the YouTube, yeah. How you doing, right?
So proud of you. Oh, thank you. How are you? How are you? All right. Thank you for yeah. Proud of him. Brand new. Yeah.
Brand new. How you doing?
Sorry to hear about I know too. He's doing every Friday. I told him that. Secret life. Oh, it's fine.
I know, Scott is so excited.
Good, how are you?
So how or what?
It's gonna be a hell of a send-off. I'm gonna get the trucks rolling out. I think that'll be
You're in
good.
charge. Watch them.
Okay. All right. Who's driving? All right. We've arrived at the Knollwood Cemetery. Scott has arrived in style. And it's a beautiful day. It's a sad day, but it's a celebration of life. He lived it to his fullest. Jane, I believe Jane Zoppo, gave the most beautiful eulogy I've ever heard. You know, learned a lot about Scott. I've only known Scott about 10 years, 11 years maybe. So I'm one of his newer friends. And he meant a lot to me. I've definitely learned a lot from the guy. Wish I knew him 20, 30 years ago. And he meant a lot to his friends and the trucking community, and he was pretty much an historian of Boston, the Boston construction scene and the trucking scene. And the guy, you know, like me, you know, free time driving around truck yards and looking for trucks and looking for construction and seeing what's going on and who's got what loader and what excavator, and with a great memory for all that stuff. And it's definitely a celebration of life. A lot of people showed up today. like they've been busy while I was gone. I'm glad I came back. Yeah, mixed piles way out there. What have they been doing? Sleeping? Come on now. He's heading back out.
Going out to save the day.
Yep. Got a clean ride that way there.
Hey, you're coming back, guy. You gotta fucking load that wagon and head west.
No, I don't work past 3:30. Come on.
I heard it all. I got a little rider here. You're gonna grab on me and ride up the hill.
Look at all that traffic down there. What the heck's going on? How you doing, Sandy? How's things going?
I'm good, Mike. How are you? I had a little adventure getting lost on the way to get fuel, but other than that, I'm good.
Yeah, it'll happen. I'm glad you're following Freddie out this way there. And like he'll tell you, the rule is if you leave Waltham at 2 o'clock, this is the way to go.
That's what they said, yeah.
Yeah, well, you guys have a nice night. We'll see you tomorrow.
Same. Thanks, Mike.
You gonna work a full day tomorrow, old man?
Oh, we're gonna work up to see what happens, you know.
Yeah, take it in stride. Okay, I'll see you tomorrow.
I don't want to be a load hog.
Right? There's enough of that going around, Camo.
Won't be nothing left when I get back.
Oh, there's plenty there, buddy.
We'll see you.
Alright, buddy.
Rain's coming today. I got my trucker hat, my trucker jacket, East, my trucker shirt, Shell Rotella. Dressed like a trucker, right? I mean, right? I mean, I don't know. So like I said, the roads are all milled, which means it's like they scraped off the top layer of pavement and they're eventually going to repave the whole highway. This is what happens when it rains and you're running on milled roads. The back door of the trailer never lies. That's from dumping, but you get, that's from milled roads. There's all this extra dirt and grime. Milled roads, dirt. Kicked up on the deck plate. Yeah, it's a mess. Yeah, these are real world problems I gotta deal with. Me and everybody else. Speaking of Rhode Island, at the beginning of this video I read a letter from Dave Philbrook from Rhode Island inviting me back to the Ocean State meaning Rhode Island, truck show June 1st at the Johnston Memorial Park. Put it on your calendar. It's a great little show, mostly antiques. And I'm a man of my word. If I say I'm going to call somebody, I call him. So I called Dave yesterday. We had a nice conversation. And he said, yeah, no DJ last year, and everybody really had a good time. They had able to have good conversations and just sit on lawn chairs and relax and not have to yell over the music. Speaking of Rhode Island, you know, I've done a lot of trucking in Rhode Island in my time. You know, when I drove for New Century for 8 years, we had a terminal in Cumberland, Rhode Island. It's an old It's an old New Penn terminal, actually. I don't know who was in there before New Penn. Old freight terminal. Man, did we do some trucking in Rhode Island with, you know, I had a big bunk, 53-foot trailers, and Rhode Island is not made for trucks. Not big trucks. This is made for small 40-foot, 45-foot trailers, jitterbugs, single axle freight trucks. And those kind of trucks used to dominate Rhode Island when I was younger, when I was a kid. And then we used to go in there trying to deliver to towns like Pawtucket, Central Falls. Oof. Not truck friendly at all. Streets, warehouses, docks. The warehouses are all like old rickety buildings with wooden floors that, if you know, you know the sound of those wooden floors, of carts being pushed along the floors, and electric jacks running along those old wooden crickety floors. And that's Rhode Island to me. Providence, East Providence, another tough town with a truck. Great places if you want to visit. Providence is a really cool city. It's got a great Italian area called Federal Hill. It's kind of like an old Italian. We have it in Boston. A lot of big cities have it. In Boston we call it the North End, but Rhode Island, Providence, Federal Hill got a lot of ties to the mafia. I shouldn't say that. There's no such thing as the mafia, but you know, the mafia. And it's a cool place. I love Rhode Island. I don't love trucking in Rhode Island. It's tough. It's tough. South side of Providence, Cranston, tough. Another tough town with the trucks. My dad, you know, he worked for Sea Line. He leased the Sea Line out of Rhode Island, out of West Warwick, Rhode Island. I remember riding around there with him. And when I was a kid, my dad was a Teamster driving for Cape Cod Overland. His route was Rhode Island, you know. And I think it was right before they built 95, or they were building 95. It's a small state, but Rhode Island can sure pack a punch. You gotta be on your game when you go to Rhode Island for sure. Especially when you go downtown. I mean, the highways go in every which direction. You get downtown Providence by the Providence Place Mall there. It's like a mix master of highways. You get 195, 95, Route 6, 146, 295, Route 1. Pay attention. Liner. It's a rare sight these days.
I would be sitting down at White's Garage on a early on a Sunday morning, because I worked a Saturday shift.
Yep.
I'd be sitting there, the sun was coming up, 5 o'clock in the morning, nice and quiet. You would hear those two GMC Astros take off because they were heading out. They would take a load to New Jersey,
Yep.
and then they would go someplace else, and then they would wind up making the loop and coming back Tuesday or Wednesday.
Hold on a second. Have a good weekend, Dickie.
Well, buddy, thank you.
Sir.
And I'd be sitting there having my coffee.
Yep.
Sitting, you know, nice, peaceful, quiet. You would hear them leave Linden Street
Yeah.
up to Main Street to 128, 128 to the Mass Pike. You would hear them. You would hear those Detroits screaming and that thing shifting. You could hear them until they crested the hill on the Mass Pike going westbound and started down the other side towards the barracks.
What a sound they made.
Oh, they were fucking loud.
Oh, when I was a kid, when I was like 10, my dad had an Astra with an HV92. And the same thing, Sunday morning, he'd leave for Ohio. I'd open the window in the house, and I would listen to him all the way through Brockton until he got on 24.
Yeah.
And I would just listen disappear finally.
Oh yeah.
What a sound.
Then we had over on Calvary Street, you know, where you take the right to go up Cedar Street.
Yeah.
That hole down on the left, that used to be PPU tree.
Right. I heard about that.
Yeah, and they used to have.
What did they do?
They hauled chemicals.
Oh.
They had tankers and they hauled chemicals. They didn't haul that much dry freight, but they were mostly tankers.
What kind of trucks were they running?
They were running Max B models.
E models.
Yeah.
Like screws?
Oh yeah, some
Yeah.
of them were screws, some of them were single axles. If they did heavy hauling, they turned around. If you ever read that book, The Building of the Mass Pike,
Yep.
when they were doing the railroad bridges,
Yep.
they would have trains bring the steel for the bridges close as they could, and then I got a picture of one of PP-Dietrich's Max hooked up, and it was showing them getting ready to lift a section of the railroad bridge off the trailer
Yep.
and set it in place.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
Did you know Jack O'Donnell who drove for them?
No.
Jack's, I think I remember him telling me that if you couldn't drive a twin stick, they wouldn't hire you.
Well, that's all they had. They had
Yeah.
quad boxes and twin, you know,
Yeah.
triplexes, duplexes.
Can you imagine that now?
These fucking kids nowadays wouldn't know what to do. That's why when they're going for their licenses now, it's like when I went to get my license when I was 16 years old. If you went up in an automatic, that's all you could drive was an automatic. You had to get a car with a standard in it.
Oh.
So you could drive
I know
both.
that. Yeah. Yeah, they would be lost. I probably couldn't get hired either. Probably couldn't do it.
Yeah, speaking of Bevel, I think that's Yanni ahead of us.
Yeah. So Mutri, what was down further on Calvary? Down by Cyrus. Is anything over there?
No, those were like, you know, repair shops, you know, small stuff.
Yeah, okay.
Nothing big. Potatoes is where ProCut is.
Potatoes?
Potato chips.
Where was that?
That was on Calvary Street.
So they made potato chips on Calvary Street?
Yeah.
But where?
In the back there.
Really?
Yeah.
Potato chips.
Potatoes.
So they must have had potatoes being hauled in there, I suppose, by...
Well, I mean, they would get the bags in of already the potato chips done, and they would put them in their own packages. They did
Wow.
packaging there. Yeah.
No idea. I mean, that's the neighborhood I live in. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, I have no idea. I wonder what's on the soil of Mutri used to be. I wonder if it's contaminated.
Oh, I think they cleaned a lot of that
Yeah.
up because they had the tank cars come in on the trestles up above,
Uh-huh.
and they would gravity feed whatever the tank cars had them into the trailers. Oh yeah, no, that spur line,
The what line?
the railroad spur
Yeah.
that ran through because it went to Raytheon.
Yeah.
That was very active up until Raytheon got out of there. I mean, they were forever shuttling.
The Raytheon was gone by the time I moved here. What was the deal with them?
They were doing a lot of electronics,
Yeah.
you know.
Were they doing like radioactive stuff or something?
Not really, no. They didn't do radar. They did like radar. They
Right.
did microwave. It was mostly microwave stuff.
I thought there was a big hubbub about that things being contaminated in that
Well,
area.
I mean, you did have but they cleaned it all up when
Okay.
they got out of here.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I mean, it one point, when I was growing up, at one point there were 4 sets of tracks here.
Really?
Yeah. There were 4 sets of tracks here.
Yep.
One set went off across the trestle over here on Elm Street, up, crossed over Newton Street,
Yep.
which they call the Chemistry Park. There's
Yeah,
a little
why?
Park there
Yeah, why do they call it Chemistry Park?
because a lot of the chemistry was done up in this area,
Yeah.
and that continued on down and across Calvary Street where PV Mutual used to be, and went over into where Raytheon is, and that line actually went almost to Watertown Square.
What was over here? The car washes.
The car wash, I know where the apartments are across the bridge. That used to be Waltham Coal and Oil.
Oh, before Boston Bark?
Yeah, where Boston Bark was. That used to be Waltham Coal and Oil.
So were these row houses right here, were these all built for people working at the plants?
Mostly. I mean, it all depends. You gotta see how far back they dated.
Yeah. Was there anything where this pool is back in the day?
No, there was a pool there.
Oh, okay.
This Newton Street used to be old 128.
What?
Newton Street used to be.
Get out of here.
Honest to God. Honest to God.
No kidding.
Yeah. 128 used to go through Reuben Five Corners, come down into Lexington, take a right on a Mass Ave, take a right on a Waltham, left on a Waltham, come down Lexington Street to Main Street, left on Main Street, right on Newton Street, over here, up to High Street, took a left on High, into Crafts and through Newton.
Wow.
Oh yeah. Because I remember as a kid, they had just put in the section of 128 here, and I remember as a kid, I'd ask my father, Dad, how come, go up Main Street here, and there would be a sign, 128, and you'd take a left. And I said, why is that sign there? How come, 128? He said, oh, this used to be the old 128.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no idea. That's crazy.
Oh, yeah. See, you're too nice. I try and make people go over that island.
I do that too sometimes.
Bounce, 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 bounce.
Right. Ready to get back in your truck?
Yep.
Had enough playing around?
I gave the triaxle good exercise.
Yeah.
They adjusted the clutch in it.
Oh yeah?
They did the brakes.
Good.
They adjusted the brakes up. Fucking thing. I told them to check the air pressures on the tires.
Did they?
It's a lot smoother ride now. And I got the tag axle set for 30 pounds. Nice.
You run it at 30?
Run it at 30.
I always told 50.
I run it at 30.
I never ran a tracks before I came here. No, actually, no, I ran it at Boston Park sometimes. Yeah, they told me 50. I don't know.
What do we got here?
Oh, yeah. It's always still good eye candy over there. No, I'm not gonna
So
show you
you'll
now.
probably get a lot of gravel coming back.
Yeah.
Mike's
gone. He was here when I left.
Now he's gonna chase me for the $1,800.
Cash on you?
I got 1,800 in cash.
Nice.
And I might have to go back there Monday too with a couple of loads.
Oh, good. There she is. She's waiting for you.
Yeah.
Body's still up.
I'm glad I rinsed her off last night.
Alright, now listen. I'm gonna dump and get loaded before you. I gotta get out of here. You can chase me. I'm gonna stop for lunch. So you jump out. Probably gonna build up your air pressure, right?
Oh yeah, I'm in no hurry.
Okay. Careful getting out. You wanna hold that?
No, I got it.
Okay. Put it on the floor.
I am. Let me get my hoof out.
bust each other's humps here, but we got good people. We all get on each other's nerves once in a while. Some more than others, but it's all good fun. Well, this week is over. Having dinner tonight with Chuck Snow, CEO from Canada. I'll tell you more about that on Monday. Tomorrow, me and my wife are driving out to Poston Kill, New York. I think I'm gonna take the country roads out there and spend Saturday afternoon, Saturday night in Poston Kill. Sunday I'm gonna go to the truck show. There's 2 truck shows this weekend. I can only make one of them. Timing is just not gonna be on my side. First is the Dagan Equipment Show, Castleton, New York, to benefit Special Olympics. And the other one, which is only 2 hours away, Hot Rigs Truck Show, Augusta, New Jersey at the fairgrounds. Can't make it this year. I'd like to make it. Everybody have a good weekend. Hit that subscribe button, please. Come on. No new subscribers this week. I think my channel has finally hit the plateau. I think it's all downhill from here. Have a good weekend. Thanks for being with me. Catch me next week, where it's gonna rain every day. Yay.